Tavis, thanks for being here. Is there any outcome, any acceptable outcome to this situation shy of him getting out of the NBA and relinquishing selling control of the Clippers?
I always, Michael, want to leave some space for grace because we're all cracked vessels. None of us is human and divine. We're just human. And I believe, and I think most black folk believe there's always room for redemption. Having said that, you know the old adage that it's not the crime, it's the cover-up. In this instance, it's not the slur, it's the spin. I don't know how Donald Sterling can hear this tape and still not come out and say it was him and offer an apology, a sincere apology. How does his wife hear this tape and not know whether it's Don Sterling? How does the Clipper organization listen to this tape and put out a press release suggesting that these were comments attributed to Donald Sterling? I don't get that. And so at some point, we've got to get to a place of having an admission, having a sincere apology. But I always want to leave space, again, for people to be redeemed from their sins. I believe that if Donald Sterling wants to be made a better person, again, I don't believe in ever throwing any human being away, but it has to start with an acknowledgement and an apology. And the fact that we are days into this and he has not even acknowledged this, much less apologized for it, is quite frankly unacceptable.
Beyond an apology and shy of relinquishing control of the Clippers would be a fine. And even though a sum like $5 million would be unprecedented in the world of the NBA, for him, Tavis, it would be chump change.
It would, in fact, be chump change. And I believe that the only thing that a racial arsonist and a slumlord like Donald Sterling actually responds to is being hit in his pocket. And that's why, with all due respect to Doc Rivers and the Clippers, and I love these guys, I watch them, I'm rooting for them right now in the playoffs, I was a bit disappointed that the best they could do was to turn some jerseys inside out and put them at the half.
Should they not have
at
played?
Half court.
Should they not have played?
Well, I think I would not have benefited if they didn't play. Look at what Muhammad Ali did. Look at what Bill Russell did. Look at what what Curt Flood did. We could run the list of people who made a sacrifice. And again, when you're talking about a guy like Donald Sterling, apparently the only thing he responds to is being hit in his pocket. And so were the NBA tomorrow to announce that they're forcing him into selling, I suspect there might be some lawsuit on his part that he can't be forced to do that. I don't know all the leeway that the NBA has, but I can tell you that this is one person who would not be offended necessarily if they forced him to selling that team. This does not belong in our society, and especially in a league that has as many African-American players as the NBA does, and that's supported by so many African-American consumers.
Tavis, stay right where you are, and thank you for being here. I want to bring into the conversation Alice Huffman, president of the California NAACP. And Alice, as you know, many people are scratching their heads wondering, how is it that he was recognized for achievements in the past by the NAACP and next month was set to be designated with yet another award?
Well, let me set the record straight. First of all, it's the local branch, LA branch of the NAACP. It's not the entire family, not national, and not the state conference, which I'm on and on the national board. We have 50 local branches or more here and 30 youth units, and they have a lot of autonomy, and they have relationships that we don't even know who those relationships are, and they make decisions. All of our units that have these events give awards to various people that they have relationships with. In my opinion, they did it in once before. That should have been enough because it was controversial then, but it didn't have the magnitude of visibility that this event has that we're all responding to. I simply think it's just poor judgment, that they should have known not to do it again, not the second time around. We all live from contributions and grants, corporate America. That's how we survive, but we have to be careful about the money we take. We have to make sure that the color of the money does not taint us and that we can still carry out our mission. We cannot sell out just to get the money. We have to have integrity in what we do, and I think this was just a very poor judgment on my local branch's behalf, and I'm glad that they finally made a statement that they're rescinding the award.
And Alice Huffman, you've anticipated my next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, and I respect the fact that it was not the statewide entity, but rather the Los Angeles chapter. Is it your understanding that he became a major benefactor after his brushes with the law? We're now all familiar with the fact that in 2009 he paid $2.73 million to settle a civil suit that was brought by the Justice Department for alleged discrimination.
I can't believe that he didn't do it for some other reason than to contribute to the betterment of society. After I've listened to his tapes, There is no way he was doing it to help African Americans out because he doesn't like African Americans. And we are a 104-5-year-old organization that we focus primarily on eliminating racism and discrimination. So it had to have been for some other reason because he doesn't even want black people coming to the games. So I think I can't get inside of his head and know what's really going on. My branch president might know him better than I do. I don't know him at all, don't care to know him now. And so I can't prejudge, but I can just simply say it's a mistake, that's money we should not take.
Tavis Smiley, weigh in on this financial question, because I know a lot of people, and I think that Alice Huffman has just set the record straight for all of us, and I'm glad that she did, that this was the Los Angeles chapter. It was not the statewide entity. What do you think went on here?
I think Alice is right. It's poor judgment. He should never have been honored in the first place, particularly given this history that Alice has laid out already. But she's right about the fact that these organizations survive on the contributions, not of just the members, and I'm proud to be a lifetime member of the NAACP, but they also survive on these contributions from corporate America. And I, quite frankly, don't have a problem with that. There's so much money that corporate America makes off of the consumer spending of African Americans that they ought to put money back in these organizations to help them do the kind of reparative work that needs to be done in our country around the most intractable issue that we know, the issue of racism. But Donald Sterling should never have been on the list to be honored in the first place. It shouldn't have taken all of this, Michael.
Alice Huffman,